As soon as the man spoke, leaves would spurt out of his mouth like crazy. Half of the tree in his yard had already fallen off, leaving only 1,000 leaves. The man was very scared. It turned out that his life was tied to the tree. As soon as he spoke, the leaves on the tree would fall off. When all the leaves fell off, the man would die. He took an axe and tried to chop down the tree, but his body bounced off and fell into the bushes. He lifted his clothes and saw a wound on his waist. In order to avoid speaking, the man tried to communicate with words, but the leaves would also fall off. The man's life was very difficult without speaking. The boss asked the man to accompany him to talk to the client. At this time, the pest control worker had just arrived under the tree and sprayed the tree. As the mist rose, the man's consciousness began to become confused. He took out a biscuit and teased the boss. He even stuck it into the boss's nostrils in front of the customers. This business negotiation failed completely. The boss angrily broke the biscuit. The man was fired. When he returned home, his wife began to doubt his sincerity because he had not spoken. But the man could not explain it clearly. The wife left with the children in great disappointment. The man was completely desperate. He smashed the bottle at the tree in the yard, but he got hurt. He cursed at the tree. The assistant shouted at him to stop, but the man went back to the house and played music. He continued to curse. The assistant directly knocked the man down. He sealed his mouth with tape. There were only a few leaves left. The man knelt under the tree, reaching out his hand and stroking the tree. He wanted to repent, but the tree remained unchanged. So he decided to leave his last words to the one he loved most. The man found his wife. He reached out and stroked the child's head. The wife was very confused. Then the man said they would be together forever. And then he left here. The man came to his mother's house again. She still stupidly thought he was her father. But this time the man did not refute. He just listened to his mother's nagging in silence. Then he kissed her forehead and said goodbye to her. Finally, the man came to his father's grave and said the last words of his life. He forgave his father for leaving without saying goodbye. With a burst of lightning and thunder, the last few leaves fell down. He finally fell to the ground. At this time, the phone suddenly rang. It turned out that the tree was resurrected again, and it was full of flowers. The man cried with joy. When you can only say 1,000 words, what would you do?